Welcome to LiveDaf, your online Daf Yomi Shir.
Shalom Aleichem and welcome back to today's Daf Hayomi. Menachos Kuf Hey. We begin on Kuf Dalet Amud Beis, 3 lines from the bottom. So we're dealing with a fellow who gets up and declares all types of pledges, which some are obscure and have to be clarified and defined. So we have a fellow who says Harei Alai Mincha. Now we know there are 5 variations of possible donated menachos that a person can bring that are listed in the beginning of Parshas, in the beginning of Sefer Vayikra. We have the Minchas HaSoilis, that's more of a plain standard type of mincha. You mix the flour with the oil, etc. And then we have the machvas, which is fried, shallow fried, marcheshes, deep fried. And then we have the category called mafitana, which really covers 2 sub-variations. So they're baked, but differently. We have the chalis and the rikikin. The chalis are more loaf, shaped, and rikikin are more cracker style. So it's 5 in total: soiles, machvas, marcheshes, chalis, and rikikin. And chalis and rikikin are really related. They're part of the same mafitana, family, so to speak. Harei la mincha. I'm going to bring a mincha. But he didn't specify which one. Yavi Eze Shiyirtze, says the Mishnah. Eze Shiyirtze, it's up to him. Pick your choice. Rabbi Yehuda, however, says that he should bring, so back in Mishnah, Rabbi Yehuda, Imer Yavi Minchas HaSoilis. No, he's meant to bring the Soilis, which is the first on the list. The more sort of plain, basic mincha. She biyuchedes, she b'menachos. That's the one that stands out from the menachos. Now, what does that mean? Explains the Brisa, Tana. So the Brisa elaborates further on this reasoning. Since the pasuk began, the pasuk initiated the mincha list with this item, with this type, and that's why we presume that when you say mincha, it's referring to that type. Okay, if that's the driving force, so then what happens to a person who says Ha'imar Harei Alai Oila? I'm going to bring an oila, but it doesn't specify if it's going to be cattle, if it's going to be a sheep, goat. So according to you, Yavi ben Bakr is meant to bring cattle. Why? Because back in the beginning of Vayikra, when the Torah speaks about different types of oila, we have the first one is ben Bakr. And then we go to the other types, sheep and goats. So since Stam refers to the first, so when he says oila, it means a ben bakar, right? Hoil, a pasach, since he's the first on the list. Or let's say he says, I'm going to bring an oila min hatzayin. Hatzayin refers to various types of light animals, sheep, goats. He says min hatzayin. So which one? Is it going to be a sheep or a goat? You should bring a sheep. Why? Yavi keves. Hoil pasach boya, because with respect to sheep and goats, keves is mentioned before the goats in the Torah. Or let's say it says, I'm going to bring oila from birds. Yavi Torah. Which one? Torah. Why? Since that's the one that comes first in the Torah, before the Bnei Yaina. Now, if that's the case, Alama Tanas, so why do we learn in the Mishnah later on? Harei Alai Oila. A fellow pledges to bring an oila yavi keves. He can bring a keves. He need not bring cattle or cow. Because even a bird is okay. Different types of birds. Yehuda does not voice his opposition. Does not disagree. But according to you, it's all about first. So why should he get away just with a bird? He has to bring cattle. Ella, rather we're going to switch the reasoning here. So back in the Mishnah, we use the words miyuchedes shebemenachos, right? It's the one that stands out, unique. What's unique about it? Ella my miyuchedes shebemenachos. What then does the reader mean when he says miyuchedes of the menachos? The lesle shem livoy. Some say levai, but Rabelski used to say livoy, like malava to accompany. It has no accompanying descriptive title. It's just plain mincha, right? as opposed to the other menachos, which have an added, adjective. It's minchas marcheshes, minchas machavas. So when he says mincha without specifying, we assume it's the plain mincha that is called mincha without any other add-ons. The less leishem livui. Oh, says the Gemara, but that's good for the Mishnah. Miyuchedes means it stands out in terms of its name, in terms of its title, but in the Brisa, which explained or viewed it further, it said it differently. But the Tana of the Brisa explains that it has something to do with first on the list. That's the first one that the Torah introduces. Ka'amar, that's what the Brisa presented as the reason. No, the Brisa means like this. In reference to the Mishnah, where Rabbi Yehuda points to Minchas Asoiles as the Miyuchedesh B'Menachos, and the reason is because, as we said, it has no add-on descriptive terms. Which one is it? You should know. Let me tell you. That's the first one mentioned in the Torah. That's the Minchas Asoiles. Hachi Kamar, Eizohi Mincha Miyuchedesh B'Menachos. In case you want to know, you're wondering, which is the one that Reader was referring to when he said Miyuchedesh B'Menachos? Because the less Leishlem Levi, because it has no added descriptive term. You want to know which one it is? Zusha Pasach Bechaz Atchila happens to be the first one on the list. Says, what do we need added descriptive, definitions? Pshita Minchas Hailas Ka'amai. Look at the Mishnah. He clearly says what he means. Rabbi says Mincha means Minchas Haseres because that's the Miyuchedes. So why do we need added explanations? You're right. Even though he said Minchas Haseres Ka'amar, Siman Ba'alma, the Brisa just wanted to clarify it further so that you clearly remember. You have a proper siman, a proper way to remember, to avoid any confusion. Says the Brisa, you should know that the one that Yehuda mentioned in the Mishnah is the first on the list. Now you know for sure it's the Minchas Hasoiles, and you'll never forget that. Okay, a fellow got up and says mincha. I'm bringing mincha. Mincha is single, right? One. Min ha-mincha. Min means a type. Min of a mincha. Again, that's one. The Mishnah spoke about plural as well. If he says menachos, right? It means two. Or min menachos means two. Two different of the same thing, right? What if he uses language which is sort of unclear? It's not single, it's not plural, it's somewhere in the middle. Mine, types, mine means types, so it's plural. And then he follows with mincha, singular. Mao, how do we deal with this fellow? Do we focus on the plural or on the single? Mine, when he says mine tartikam, he's referring to two types. He says to bring two different types. Umay mincha, when he followed with singular mincha, that's a family name. The kula or the kulhu. Menachos name mincha mikaryan. All the different types of menachos are covered by the mincha umbrella. The pasuk says v'zois teres ha-mincha. So it uses the lashon mincha even though it's referring to all different types. So mincha is like a family name, right? It's an umbrella term. Mincha means many types of the mincha. Or you can say no. He only brings one. Keeping the amar mincha. Look, he said one mincha. Who says we should, sort of interpret it this way? Mincha means one. And although he began with mine, which is plural, my mine mincha, what does that mean? He meant to say mine mincha. From the various types of mincha, I know there are so many types. From those, I'll bring one. Mincha chada, one mincha alai is upon me. Tashmas, which way is it? So when he says min mincha, it's one. Mine menacha is two. Mine mincha. Tashma. Let's try to figure this out. From the Mishnah. He says mincha, that's one. Or min mincha, one type, that's again one. Yav yachad, just brings one. Let's make an inference, let's make a deal. But if there's a plural element in his words, he'll bring two. However, mine mincha, if he switches min to mine mincha, that would be two shtai. That's right, that is two. Amos safe. Oh, let's move on to the next case of the Mishnah. You'll have a conflicting inference. You'll have an inference going the other way. Amos safe. So the Mishnah continues, Menachos, which is totally plural, or Menachos. So then it's Yavish time. It brings two. However, let's infer from here. Ha mine mincha. But now, suppose he says mine mincha, that wouldn't qualify for two. It's only chada. So we have sort of a conflicting diuk. From the ratio, it sounds one way. The sefer, it sounds the opposite. Ella, rather meha, from this type of language. Leka, from the Mishnah, we can't really derive any clarity. Leka lemashma, we can't really derive anything from here because we're not really sure which inference is the correct one, which one is just sort of tashmai. Comes another attempt at proving this point. So again, let's just clarify. If it's mine menachos, definitely two, or even min menachos. Interesting. Even min menachos certainly means two. We'll bring two of the same type, right? Mincha is one. Mincha is one, but mine, which is plural, together with mincha, which can go either way. Mincha can mean one, it can mean many because of the pasuk. There's teres mincha. So we're unsure about that. Tashmai comes another attempt at resolving this question. So the Brisa says min menachos alai yavishtei menachos menachat. Okay, so he brings one type, but two of that type. Two menachos from that type. Let's make a diuk. Let's infer ha mimine or mine samagaris mine mincha, which is exactly our case. Mine mincha, plural and then single. Chada. That's only one. Says the word no. Dilma, perhaps you can say ha mine mincha, maybe shtei menachos. Mishnei minen. That in the case of mine mincha, you would also have to bring two different types, two of different types. So maybe that's the diuk. The Brisa begins min menachos. It's two of the same type, but the diuk would be mine mincha. You have to bring two different types. But how could you say that? The fact is, the Brisa, we have a Brisa which continues and tells us, min menachos alai, maybe shtei menachos menachat. Min menachos, right? So that was the first case we had. So it's two menachos of the same type. And the Brisa continues, mine menachos, instead of min menachos, mine, which is two types of menachos, alai. In this case, it brings one of this type, one of the other type. Maybe shtei menachos, mishnei minen. So only in this case is it going to be two different menachos, two different types. Ha mine mincha. But in the case of mine and then mincha, which is our topic of our discussion today, in that case, he wouldn't qualify for two different ones. Chad is only one. So here we have a solid diuk that mine mincha is only one, because the Brisa expresses itself and presents a case which would trigger two. Mine menachos, then it's two. What if it's mine mincha? Apparently it's only one. You're right, says the Gemara. You're right. But perhaps the one speaking in this Brisa is a different shita. It's Reb Shimon. You see, Reb Shimon holds that there's a certain family of menachos called mafi taner. Mafi taner is the one that's baked. And we have two sub-varieties in that type. One is called chalos, like we said before. Chalos are the loaf shaped, and rikikin are the more cracker style. According to Reb Shimon, you can mix and match. See, the Rabbanan hold, you have to pick your choice. You want to bring soilas, bring soilas. Machbas, machmach. You want to bring chalis, chalis. You can't mix them up. You can't do 5 chalis, 5 rikikin. According to Reb Shimon, they're all in the same family. Chalis and rikikin are part of the mafi taner arrangement. You could mix and match. You can make any combination you want. You can have 10 chalis or 10 rikikin, or you can have 5 and 5, or 6 and 4, 7 and 3, right? 8 and 2, 9 and 1. So, according to Reb Shimon, you can have an interesting type of configuration. You could have many types in the same mincha, so to speak. It's all under mafi taner. under the Mafitaner brand, so to speak, but there are different types. One is loaves and one is crackers. So again, that's perhaps what the Brisa means. Dilma, perhaps the Brisa, which has now indicated to us through this diuk that minei mincha would indicate just one mincha, despite the fact that he said minei. Maybe that's because it's going like Reb Shimon. And we're speaking about an interesting configuration. He's bringing a combination, a combined mincha of chalas and rekikin, which are minim, different types, but technically under the same brand of mincha, they're all mafei tanur. So there's a way to sort of apply this phrase in a way that works, in a way that only obligates him in one mincha, which carries within it two different types. Maybe it's going like Reb Shimon who says mechza chalos or mechza rekikin. A person could choose to combine chalos and rekikin under the mafei tanur brand, mincha, and therefore we can fully explain his intention when he says minei mincha. He wasn't trying to tie himself into knots. He knew what he was saying. He meant, I'll bring one type of mincha which contains two different types of products. Mincha de isbei trei mini, which has two different types in it. So, according to this approach, you can get away with just one mincha that contains both elements. Aval rabbanon de amri mechza chalus umechza rekikin liyav. But according to the Shittas Chacham, you can't mix and match. You can't combine chalas and rekikin. So there is no such breed, no such creature. So perhaps according to them, when he says minei mincha, there's no way to really apply it other than bringing two separate menachos. Maybe shtei menachos, mishnei min, two different types. A mincha of this and a mincha of the other. But we're not really showing this. So bottom line is, when he expresses himself clearly, singular, of course it's one. Duplicate, it's two. When there's a mix, minei mincha can be taken in both directions. Either it means one of the types of mincha, or it means many, and mincha can mean plural, as per the pasuk, zois teres mincha, which is an umbrella term for all menachos. Okay, now we move on to the next fellow, who actually did specify which mincha, but he can't recall. Pirashti, v'eni yedema pirashti, yavi chamishtan. The only way out is to cover all possibility, bring all five menachos. Soilas, machas, marcheshes, chalas, and rekikin. Now, well, why only five? Really, it could be 14 possibilities. Why? You see, according to Reb Shimon, you have the soilas, machas, marcheshes. But now, when we move over to mafei tanur, there are many varieties, many types of combinations. You can have straightforward 10 chalas, or you can have 10 rekikin. Okay, it's also an option. You can mix and match. You can have basically 9 other combinations. You could have 9 chalas with one rakik, 8 chalas with one rakik, 7 chalas with one rakik, 6 and 4, 5 and 5, all the way down to 1 chala and 9 rekikin. That's another 9 options aside from the standard of 10 chalas or 10 rekikin. So from one spectrum to the other, you end up with a spread of 11 possibilities, right? You start with 10 chalas on the right, and then you combine. Next option would be 9 chalas, 1 rakik, 8 chalas, 2 rekikin, all the way down to the other side, till you can get to 10 rekikin, which is another option. So it's 11 options in total, plus the 3 standard, soilas, machmas, marcheshes, a total of 14. So why is he getting away with just 5 variations? He has to bring 14 different types of combinations. Ma'antana, so who's speaking in the Mishnah? Who suffices with 5? It's obviously not like Reb Shimon. Amar Rabbi to like Reb Shimon, because according to Reb Shimon, Kibbutz Amar, since he allows mixing and matching different types under the mafei tanur brand, mechza chalis, mechza rekikin yom, you can bring half and half, or as Rashi says, or any other combination. Now, even if we'll grant that Reb Shimon is going like Rabbi Yehuda, we had a discussion a couple of weeks ago, how many units in each mincha? Reb Meir says 12, Rabbi Yehuda says 10. Okay, let's go with the lower number. Okay, let's be easy on the fellow. So it's 10 units per mincha. The Amar says, Kol ha-menachos bois eser. A mincha is comprised of 10 units, but you'll still end up with many combinations here. Like we explained, ikul sfuka, bar basrei menachos. You can speculate about 14 different types of combinations. So why only 5? Abaya Amar. No, I feel the Reb Shimon. Even Reb Shimon would agree that you don't have to go past 5. Why? Look, he brings in Soilis, 10 pieces, Machmas, 10 units, Marchesh, 10 units. Then he brings Mafi Tanner, 10 units of Chalis, 10 units of the Rekikin. He sets them up. He says, look, I'm not sure how it works. I'm not sure if I promised 10 Chalis or 10 Rekikin or any sort of combination thereof. But it's all here. Whichever it is my obligation. The rest is just a donation. So even if you didn't, place them in the same, he didn't set them up properly, you can do this with a condition. I feel to Reb Shimon, we know that Reb Shimon holds the Amar who says, Maisa, you can bring a carbon, you're in a state of uncertainty. You must make a condition. You can condition it and say, look, if it's meant to be this, it's this, it's meant to be the other thing, the other thing. The Sanya, we find the Brisa with a fellow who's totally in the dark regarding Nazir. Was I a Nazir? Was I not? Was I a Mitzvah? Did I become Tameh? A whole complicated situation. So he has to sort of get out of his situation, and there are karbonos involved, but Mitzvah brings an Asham, and the Nazir brings a Shlamim. So what does he do? Reb Shimon Omer L'machras, the day following the 60th day. So this is discussed in great length in Tosefta, elsewhere in the Gemara. But the point here is that on that day he brings a carbon on account of uncertainty, and he conditions it. Let it be applied to whatever I need. Otherwise, it's just a donation. L'machras, maybe Asham, if you look at it, he may brings the Asham, we still move to Talmud Base. He brings the Asham of the Mitzvah, in case he's a Mitzvah, with the lug oil, he gets up and declares, look, if it's needed, fine, otherwise I'm donating it. If I'm a Mitzvah, Zeu Ashamai, V'zelugay, this is my carbon Asham, Zeu Ashamai, this is my lug. If I don't really need it, I don't really require it, I'm not a Mitzvah, whatever. So then it's a donation. Asham Zeh, let it be used for a nadava. Let it be a shlamim. So now this animal is either an asham or a shlamim. So you have to treat it accordingly and give it all these strictnesses and all the laws that apply to both to cover all possibilities. But you say asham, so this asham ton shchita b'tzafin. It has to be shechten and tzafin like an asham. Umatan b'hoines, and the blood of the carbon has to be placed on the thumb, the large toe of the mitzvah, as though it's an asham or smicha. Now we take on the possibility that perhaps it's a shlamim, so it needs smicha like a shlamim, unasachim like a shlamim, tefas like a shlamim. And in terms of the time frame, first of all, has to be fed to a consumption time frame. First of all, it has to be fed only to the charim of the kahuna, like it's an asham, so we take into account that possibility. Liyam b'layla, and has a shortened time frame, a day and a night, unlike a shlamim, which has a longer time frame. So you see that according to Reb Shimon, you could sort of condition things according to the circumstance. Now, here comes the question. Although the Gemara already clarified, where was this Gemara? B'shchitas kachem. Shchitas kachem is actually a Mesechas Zvachim. It's called Shchitas kachem. Zvachim means the shecht. And Mesechas Chulin, by the way, coming up soon, Bez Hashem Yisbarach, is called Shchitas Chulin. So in Mesechas Zvachim, we clarified that really Reb Shimon doesn't really grant open license, a green light for all situations. You can't just do whatever you want. Amor the Amar Reb Shimon Maisi. When does Reb Shimon allow to bring or masne to make a condition chatchila? When can you do this as a sort of a solution? That kuni gavra. We can initiate this process only when we're trying to fix the person. We're trying to, get his record straight. He's confused. He's an asham. He's a mitzvah. He's not a mitzvah, right? So, to address his situation and to rectify his situation, we allow this type of system, aval ba'alma, but typically it's not something we just allow ourselves to do because it's only the evid in. Yeah, if it's after the fact, let's say, Rashi brings a classic case of a mix-up, two karbanos. You have an asham and a shlam got mixed up, you don't know what's what, so you have to treat them both accordingly. So you make a tanai, and all that. But the chatchila, we don't initiate a system which would necessitate bringing things on condition. So that's true, and perhaps that would explain why in our case you can't bring the mincha in this fashion, right? No, but that's not a concern in this case. That's only a concern gabi shlamim, the komai pachilasan. You see, when you treat a shlamim like an asham, what you're doing is you're shortening its edibility time frame, right? Because the havalu kachim beis apsul, you can end up generating a psul on the kachim if it's left beyond day and night, which is the shortened asham time frame, whereas a shlam really has 2 days. So by forcing a shlamim to be consumed like an asham, you're causing issues. You might cause it to be pasul prematurely, unnecessarily. Aval menachos, but if you by the menachos, what's the issue? Aval chatchila, and we can initiate this process. Not a problem. You're not causing any premature psul. Again, you're taking 10 chalis, 10 rikikim, right? The same, time frame, whether it's this, whether it's that, whether it's obligated, whether it's donation, and you work accordingly. You say, look, I don't know what he had in mind. He says, if I had this in mind, it will be this combination. Otherwise, that's the combination, and the rest is an adava. What's the problem? So Abaye was the one who proposed this solution. He says, I'll explain to you why, according to Reb Shimon, you don't need to bring all the other variations, because you simply get away with 10 and 10, and you condition it accordingly. So he asked the question on Abaye. Now, we have other issues. Fine, you bring 10 and 10, and whichever one is the right combination is the chayva, and the rest is an adava. Fine. But according to Reb Shimon, that you can actually do that. You can combine, you can bring half chalis, half rikikin, 5 and 5, right? You can do that, and you explain to him the Mishnah is going according to this shita as well. But technically, he only pledged one mincha, one isarein, one lug of oil, and now he has 2, right? And he's going to do he's going to make a combination of the 2, right? And he's sort of going to take 5 of this isarin and 5 of the other isarin, if it's true that he really pledged 5 chalis, 5 rikikin. But again, the 10 chalis were produced from one isarin, 10 rikikin from the next isarin. And now you're allowing a combination. Basically taking some material from this isarin that belongs to this mincha and combining with material from the other isarin. You're joining together, you're mixing 2 isarinas, a little of this, you can't do that. An isarin is a finite entity. So you can't mix them up. You can't combine a little this, a little that. How come Maisi Isarin Echad will turn out that he's bringing one Isarin comprised of 2 Isarinas? Isarin Echad Mishnei Isarinas. V'lug Echad Mishnei Lugan, and the lug of oil, again, is comprised of 2 lugan, a little this, a little that. That doesn't work. The answer is you could. Shamin Reb Shimon, we know that Reb Shimon holds. We heard that he says, the Amar, he says, it works. You could combine. Rashi said, I'm not sure where this is, where he said it, but that's how we knew that he held that sheet. So it's okay. But the next question is, fine. So you can make an isarin, which is combined of 2, etc. But what about the kmitza? He meant to scoop out a little of the mincha, right? Now, he doesn't know which one is his real one, which one is the obligation, which one is the donation. So he has to make a kmitza. Right? He has 10 chalas, 10 rikikin. He has no idea. Maybe his pledge is really 5 and 5. So how's he going to do the kmitza? The Masni Bamar, again, he makes the following condition. So he takes 2 kmitzahs, 1 kmitzah from the chalis, 1 from the rikikin, and he declares as follows. The Masni Vamar, he makes a condition as follows. I chalis l'chudayu, urikikin l'chudayu amri. If I obligated myself in just 10 chalis or just 10 rikikin. Okay, so that's pretty simple. The kamitzna mechalis, the kmitza from the chalis, lava chalis applies to the chalis. The kamitzna merakikin, the ones that I take from the rikikin, now the rikikin, kmitza from the rikikin goes on the rikikin. Right? So let's say he really was chayv to bring chalis, that's the obligatory mincha, and the rikikin is the nadav. What if it was 50-50? He really pledged 5 chalas and 5 rikikin. V'mechza rikikin, or mechza chalas amri. If I promised half and half, 5 chalas and 5 rikikin, okay, not a problem. I'm taking a kmitz from the chalas and a kmitz from the rikikin. So the kmitz, the mechalas, the ones that I'm taking from the chalas, lahavia, mechza chalas, that should apply to the 5 chalas. Umechza rikikin. Umechza rikikin, and also should apply to the 5 rikikin. That's part of that package. So basically, he's taking a kmitza from the chalas and have it applied on the rikikin. That's going to be the next question. And the kmitza that I'm doing from the rikik, from the 10 rikikin, lahave mechza rikikin, mechza chalas. That will apply to the 5 rikikin and to the 5 chalas that come along with that. Right? So he's doing again 2 kmitzas, one from the 10 chalas, having that applied to, on the chance that it's really 5 and 5, to the 5 chalas and the 5 rikikin that come along with that. And likewise, the kmitza on the rikikin applies to the 5 rikikin and the 5 chalas that come along with that. And one is a chayv, one is an adam. Says the Gemara, what do you mean? How could he do that? Suppose he's really dealing with 5 and 5. So he's meant to make a kmitza from chalas and rikikin together as one kmitza. How could he be mighty? How could he do a kmitza on the chalas and say, okay, let it be applied to the rikikin? Kmitza by definition is to scoop out that material that you're obligated to do. He's meant to do one combined kaimitz and have both materials in that kaimitz. A little bit chalas, a little rikikin. He doesn't have that in this case. Because this kaimitz is purely chalas, this one's purely rikikin. He's meant to have one kaimitz with combined material of chalas and rikikin within it. He's not having it in this case, but in this case, he's doing kmitza mechalis purely on the chalas, a rikikin, and he wants it to apply to the 5 rikikin that are meant to come along with those 5 chalas, and vice versa, rikikin and chalas, and the kmitza on the rikikin, he's trying to address the chalas, but in his kmitza there's only rikikin material. The answer is it works. Shamin Reb Shimon, again, I'm going like Reb Shimon who says it's one happy family. Since they're all under the Mafetano brand, you can do it this way. So although in his kmitza on the chalas, you'll only find challah material in his hand, theoretically it could be considered an accommodation on the rikikin, the 5 rikikin as well, that are part of that package. Shamin Reb Shimon the Amr says, Im kamatz v'olo b'yadei me'echad ashneim yatza. If he does a kmitza and he only discovers chalas material in his hand, it's okay. So he's talking about a case where a person actually brings a regular mincha, 5 and 5. And he grabs a kmitza, but he finds only challah material, that's fine. It's one package, and they accommodate each other. One more question. Fine, so we addressed the Yissaron issue, we addressed the kmitza. What about the oil? What about the leftover oil? You see, the Mafi Taner has 2 types, chalas, which are mixed with oil, and we have rikikin, with the oil is smeared on the surface after baking. The leftovers of the oil, so it depends. The leftovers of the chalas, leftover oil of the chalas, are meant to be mixed back into the chalas. Whereas leftover oil of the rikikin, you see the chalas, you can mix them up with as much oil as you want, so there's no leftover. But by the rikikin, after you smear it, what happens to the leftovers? So the halacha is that it goes to the kohanim. So the question is, what do we do with leftover oil here in this case? We're not sure whether he was supposed to bring chalas, in which case leftovers get mixed back in, or rikikin, in which case leftovers go to kohanim. What do you do with leftover oil? If he promised 5 and 5, halacha is, in this case, you mix the oil back to the chalas. You don't give it to the kohanim. But really, ikula rikikin amar, if you really promised only rikikin, in this case, the leftover oil is directed to the kayanim, has a different status. Moiser Hashem, leftover oil, nechal kayanim. So what do we do now? Says the Gemara, oh, Reb Shimon Yehuda. We're going like the Shita, the sign of Shimon Yehuda Omer, Mishum Reb Shimon. He says that even if the fellow promised a package of 5 chalas and 5 rakikin, even in this case, the leftover oil from the rakikin goes to the kayanim. It's not mixed back into the chalas. So you smear like a key configuration, a certain kind of letter, like a V or something, on the surface of the rakikin. Leftover oil goes to the kayanim. So either way, it's going to end up with the kayanim, and there's no issue here. So just like when you bring just rikikin, the leftover go to the kayanim. Even if you bring it as a joint package, chalas and rikikin, the leftover from the rikikin go to the kayanim. So that's what we do in this case as well. Okay, let's recap today's daf. A person says, I'm going to bring a mincha without specifying. He can choose whichever one he wants. Rabbi says he brings soilis, minchas ha-soilis. That's the one without a shem livoy. That's the standard. When a person speaks single, it's 1. Plural, it's 2. What if he mixes min and mincha? We're not sure about that. He specified a mincha, but he doesn't remember which one. He brings all 5. And according to Reb Shimon, so some say he'll have to bring 14. According to Abaye, no. He'll bring the same 5 and he'll condition. He'll make a t'nai. We worked out how to do the sarin, the kmitza, and the leftover oil. All the best to you, and that's lachara.